What's the vibe, child? Welcome to my channel where we review videos that inspire, inform, and help us grow spiritually so that we can thrive in all areas of our life. Whether you're a light being, a conscious mind, or an entrepreneur who's looking to expand personally or professionally, this channel is for you. This is your space to discover content that elevates your journey. Together, we're going to explore ideas and concepts that empowers us to become the best versions of ourselves. So have a notebook and a pen ready to take these notes. And whenever you hear a gem that resonates with you, I want you to make sure that you're dropping it down in the comments. And if you appreciate this content that I am producing for you, I want you to subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I drop the next video. Let's go. All right, guys, so today we're going to be reviewing renowned spiritual speaker and business strategist Myron Golden. Drop a comment down below if you know about Myron Golden, because he's the man, just letting you know right now. He teaches timeless principles that bridge spiritual wisdom and real-world success, and I love that. I am not devoted to any religion. However, I am spiritual, very spiritual at that, and a student of life and always seeking more to be able to apply more spiritual principles in my life. And if I could do that from a personal and a professional endeavor, that's a plus. I'm aligned. This is one of his shorter videos. It is called Dream House or House of Cards. That's the thumbnail.
Can I ask you a question? Do you know the state of your financial estate? And when I ask that question, you may be thinking, I don't have enough money to have an estate. Everybody has a financial estate. It doesn't matter whether you're rich, poor, or middle class. You could be living in the biggest mansion in Tampa, Florida, or you could be living under a bridge. Everybody has a financial estate. Do you know the state of your financial estate? So you say, man, what is an estate? Well, there are two definitions when I Googled it that it came up with. We're going to go with the second one, but I'm going to tell you what both of them are. So an estate, an extensive area of land in the country, usually with a large house owned by one person, family, or organization. We're not going to use that one. That's not the one that's not the estate I'm talking about. This is the one I'm talking about. All the money and property owned by a particular person, especially at death. All of the property and money owned by a particular person. That's the one I want to talk about. So what is the state of your financial estate? So I wrote this book back in 2006. It's called From the Trash Man to the Cash Man, How Anyone Can Get Rich Starting from Anywhere. This book has impacted thousands upon thousands of lives. Okay, so in that book, I taught a concept called How Strong is Your Financial House? So that concept is the concept I want to share with you today. So when I say everybody has a financial estate, this is what I mean. By financial estate, I mean your perception of money and all things having to do with money. So what is the state of your financial estate? This is the estate. This is the blueprint right here for a sick financial estate. So if you want to have a sick financial estate, this is the blueprint. This is what your house looks like. It looks like this. It looks like this. It looks like this, and maybe a little bit of that, and then you got a door. Okay. These are windows. So say, what do you mean this is the state of my financial estate? So your financial estate this is your income window. So you make money. Where do you make money from? Well, probably if you're like most people, this is you, right? You make money from your what? Job. So you are the only thing producing income for your family, for your financial estate. You are the only thing. Or if you're married, maybe you and your spouse both. Okay, so you and Mrs. You. Okay, y'all both have a job and your money comes in here. Now, if your financial estate is sick, this is your income window. This is your outgo window. This is your outgo window. So when your money comes into your income window, it goes out your outgo window in the form of bills. So the reason your financial estate is sick, if it's sick, it is sick because you think the primary purpose of money is to pay bills and every now and then to buy things that you don't need, or maybe some things that you do need. So you think the primary purpose of money is to buy things. So if you think the primary purpose of money is to buy things and pay bills, the state of your estate is you have a sick financial estate. And most people who live like this struggle financially their whole lives. Why? Because they spend every dime out of every dollar out of every 10, every 10 out of every 100, every 100 out of every 1,000 goes to either paying bills or buying stuff. You cannot, this is not sustainable long term. This is the state of your financial estate where if this is...
Let me know what you think the primary purpose of your money is. What's the primary purpose of your money? It's really important to be aware of the foundation of your concept of money, right? Because money is a tool to a mean. So when Myron's talking about bills, necessities, and luxury items, that we use the tool of money to pay for a mean, the bills, the luxury, and necessities, it's important to understand what you understand. It's important to understand what your means are, which is your primary purpose for your money. So you let me know, drop it down in the comments.
If this is how you do money, when you die, your family is going to have to take up a crowdfunding campaign to have a funeral, like either to cremate you or to bury you. And I don't want to be morbid, but that's the reality. The reason people end up having to do that is because they did not manage their money well. And you're not going to ever manage your money well. You won't ever do the right thing with your money if your perception, if what you think about money, that's a light bulb. If what you think about money is off. If what you think about money is off, then you will never do well financially. You have no asset protection, which means your roof is leaking. Your foundation is shabby. It's built on lies that you believe that the primary purpose of money is to pay bills and to buy things. And so your financial estate is very sick. And until you get to the point where you do more with your money than pay bills and buy stuff, you will never have a healthy financial estate. Okay, so that's a sick financial estate. The second kind of house is a stable financial house. And if you have a stable financial house, you've got this window, you've got this window, and you've got this. That was a disproportionate window. You got this window, you got this window, you got this window. And more than likely, this is the biggest window in your house. So how do you make your money? Well, probably from your job. Or if you're like me, when I was living like this, I had my own business, right? So you either make that money from your job or your business. The money comes into your income producing asset window. Okay. The money comes into your income window. And when it comes into your income window, what you do is you pay your bills. It goes down and goes out your outgo window. And then you borrow money, and you have your WRL window. WRL stands for wealth reducing liabilities. And what you do is you pay your bills on time, so you pay them in a timely manner. So when you pay your bills on time, now you have good credit. So the bank will loan you money and credit card companies will loan you money. And so what happens now is some of your income goes down here in the way of bills, but some of it goes down here to just maintain that good credit. And so now my income comes in here, it comes down here, and it comes down in the manner. So when what you do is you pay your bills. It goes down and goes out your outgo window. And then you borrow money, and you have your WRL window. WRL stands for wealth reducing liabilities. And what you do is you pay your bills on time, so you pay them.
Wealth reducing liabilities, just in case you missed it. WRL, wealth reducing liabilities, is your third window, or one of your three windows, okay?
In a timely manner. So when you pay your bills on time, now you have good credit. So the bank will loan you money and credit card companies will loan you money. And so what happens now is some of your income goes down here in the way of bills, but some of it goes down here to just maintain that good credit. And so now my income comes in here, it comes down here, and it comes down here, and then goes out the outgo window. So this is a stable financial house. I do have some asset protection. I might only have insurance. I probably don't have an estate plan. I may not have a will, but I've got, and then it's built on half truth. What's the half truth? Well, as long as you've got good credit, everything's going to be okay. If I can't afford it, it doesn't matter because the bank will loan me enough money to buy it. Now, the interesting thing about borrowing money, it's a better idea to borrow money when you don't need to than it is to borrow money when you do need to. Isn't that kind of like paradoxical? Like, if you don't need to borrow money, that's the best time to borrow money. This is why rich people borrow money. Because we understand if we borrow money, are y'all tracking? If we borrow money, we can use the bank's money cheaper than we can use our own. But poor people borrow money. They can't use the bank's money cheaper than they can use their own because their money's costing them everything, and then the bank's money is costing them everything plus interest. This is a stable financial house as long as you continue to make enough income to pay your bills on time and maintain good credit, and you don't let this get too out of control. Now, this house will never make you rich. This house will never make you like financially successful. This house will never make you financially strong, but you can be financially stable. This is when people say, I want to be, well, that's not even financially secure. That's just financially stable. You are financially stable as long as you don't have any major catastrophes, right? Then you're going to be okay. This is how I lived for a long time until I found out what? There's a better way to live. There's a better way to live than being stable. Oh yeah, this is the one that changed the game for me. When I realized this is the house of houses. This is my greatest opportunity to have a very strong and successful financial house. I have asset protection. What does that mean? It means I have enough insurance to replace my income for my family if I die and pay off any debt that they want to pay off. And what does this mean? This is built on the foundation of truth. What is the truth? The truth is that I've got an income window. The truth is I need another window. I've got to have one of these, not just these three, but this window is the window of windows. That's where the magic happens. So you have a business or you have your job. So if you got your business or you have your job, or maybe you have both, income comes into your income producing asset window. Income comes into your income producing asset window, your IPA window. Nope. Income comes into your income window. And then when you have a strong financial house, this is what has to happen. The first thing you do when you get money is you take some of that income and you put it into your IPA window. What's IPA? IPA stands for income producing asset. You put some in your income producing assets window. Income producing assets. And then when you first start putting money in your income producing asset windows, nothing happens. So you take some of your income, put it in your income producing asset window, and then some of the money comes to pay your bills. And then some of the money comes down here to your wealth reducing liabilities window. This is your outgo window. Some of it comes down here, and then it comes out your outgo window. So your cash flows in this direction, and in this direction. Now, the thing about having this income coming over here, like when you first start putting money into your income producing asset window, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't make you any money. This is why most people don't do it. Most people are so addicted to a paycheck. And they're so addicted to immediate gratification that they don't allow themselves to defer gratification long enough for this window to get big enough to like work its magic. So what happens eventually though, you keep putting money over here in this income producing asset window, guess what happens? Eventually, it takes some money and puts it back in here. And then what you do? You put some more money in here, you buy or build or acquire or accumulate or create some more income producing assets. This window gets bigger. And so now you've got more income producing assets putting money over here. So I've got Trash Man to Cash Man. That book makes me anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 a month. I've got Boss Moves. That book makes me anywhere from $18,000 to $70,000 a month. I've got my Make More Offers Challenge funnel. Just tickets make us between $80,000 and $110,000 a month. These are all income producing assets. And then once you have an income producing asset window that's really, really big, eventually it puts all your income back over here. It pays all of your bills and pays off all of your debt. The objective is to get this window to be the biggest window in your house. And how do you get it to be the biggest window in your house? By focusing on it and continuing to put income producing assets in it. Eventually, this window pays all the bills, pays all the bills on time. The business has the credit because all the bills are being paid on time. I max out my American Express card, the income producing asset window pays it off. And then what happens is eventually this window can get big enough to sustain not only you, but you and your legacy. That's the objective. The objective is not making a bunch of money just so I can have a nice car and just so I can live in a nice house in a nice neighborhood. There's nothing wrong with nice cars. I've got nice cars. There's nothing wrong with a nice house. I have nice houses. There's nothing wrong with having nice things and jewelry and art and all that. All that stuff is fine.
Okay, let's stop for a second because I think this is the most important part of this, because we know the other windows. We know the income window, right? Our jobs, if you own a business and your business is actually generating revenue and bringing in a profit or money into your home, right? Or into your bank account, whatever. And then you have your wealth reducing liabilities, which funnels into your outgoing window, which is all of your bills, any other liability that you might have, and then your necessity and your luxury items. That fourth window, right? The income producing asset, that is the window that most houses are missing or are not actually taken care of, right? That's the window that we want to nurture, the income producing asset window, which to Myron's point at first is deferred gratification, which I appreciate that he used the word deferred instead of delayed. Because delayed gratification might have a little bit resistance around it. And since it doesn't feel good, we might shy away from it. Deferred feels a little bit better to me than delayed. Because it just allows you to trust the process, right? And when we say the word process, we know that there's a journey. And when we know that there's a journey, we know that that's going to take time. And we don't have to dictate the time. We don't even get to dictate the time. It's not important. What's important is understanding that when we nurture this window, the same way when we plant a seed in the garden and we give it the proper amount of nutrition, make sure that the soil's healthy, we cultivate the soil around it, we protect it from the squirrels and whatever else that sometimes comes and plays around in the soil. We make sure that it's getting enough sunlight, water it, all of the things, right? We know that eventually the seed that we planted is going to produce something. It's going to produce the flower, the plant, or the fruits or the vegetables. We know that, and we don't have any qualms with waiting for its season to harvest. Myron's talking about the same thing. It's the same exact thing. So that income producing asset is so important. He used the words buy, build, acquire, accumulate, and to create more income producing assets. He talked about making a book. One time he wrote this book, right? He wrote several books, but let's just start off with Trashman to the Cashman. One book, or Boss Moves book. This is a great book. Guys, you got to get this book. This book is in my link. He's helped me to write my first book, okay? My first ebook. It's really important that we are creating things one time. So he put in the effort one time, and he wrote this book years ago. Did you hear this man is making him $8,000 to $10,000 a month? Is that, I don't even know if it's the right book that I'm referring to, but one of those he's like, regardless, like, can you imagine? Like, how would you feel about an additional $8,000 to $10,000 a month off of one income producing asset that you created and that you can have help creating, right? Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. I thought that was amazing. I just wanted to make sure that you're catching this. This is the most important part, is your income producing asset window. Let's go.
That's not the primary objective. The primary objective is to have an income producing asset window that is so big that if your family has to worry about something ever again, money ain't it. Up here, this might look like some insurance, and it'll look like wills, it'll look like an estate plan. All of these things are things that you do because this gives you the ability to do it. I'm telling you, when you live like this, you have a strong, successful financial house. You don't just have a stable financial house where you're paying the bills and maintaining good credit. You don't have a sick financial house where all you're doing is paying bills and buying stuff, but you have a very strong and successful and sustainable financial house that can, if you do this right, this can sustain your family for generations. That's the game changer. And that's how you can know. All you have to do is ask yourself this question: what do I do with most of my money? You want to know the state of your financial estate? What do I do with most of my money? Does most of your money go to pay bills? Or does most of your money go to pay off debt that you use to buy things that you didn't need, didn't really want, and couldn't afford, so you can impress people you don't know who don't even care about you? Or does most of your money go into does most of your kind of asset that can produce more money? Because when it does that, then and only then will you have a strong, successful, sustainable financial house. And in order to do that, it must be built on the foundation of truth, not all of the misrepresented lies that we've been taught to believe all our lives about money. I hope this video helps you. If it shifts your focus like it shifted mine, because when I discovered this in 1999, the trajectory of my financial life went like this. And now I've got way more assets than liabilities. I've got way more assets than bills. I've got way more assets than money is just money. And I don't mean that, I'm not wasteful. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't have to worry about, I don't have to go to the restaurant and read the menu from right to left. Oh, that's a good price. Oh, chicken again. I don't have to read menus like that. And my desire is for you to get to the place where you don't have to read menus like that. And somebody asked me once, when I talked about the fact that I bought something, I don't know, maybe it was when I bought my Sprinter van. Somebody said, well, what did your wife think about buying a Sprinter van? Or what did she have to say about it? I said, she didn't have anything to say about it. Not because I don't respect my wife, I respect my wife immensely, but because my wife and I are both adults and we don't ask for permission. And I said, if my wife wants to buy a house on her way home, she can show it to me at closing or after closing. Why? Because I trust her that much and she trusts me that much. And it's just money. How many of y'all tracking? By the way, I think you'd be shocked how many of the worries and anxieties you have are actually based on money. And I know money, but money's not the most important thing in the world. No, it's not. You are correct. It's not the most important thing in the world. But it is right up there with oxygen. What does that mean? Well, you got to have it every day to live, and when you don't have enough, you feel like you can't breathe. All right. I'm done with my puns. I wanted to be a stand-up comedian, and that didn't work, so here I am. All right. Hope this video helps you. Hope it blesses you. Really get this etched into your cerebral cortex. Heard somebody say that one time. I think it's part of your brain. Get it etched into your cerebral cortex and let it change your life like it changed mine. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Stay blessed by the best, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Ooh, those gems. I've been enlightened by this video. I hope that you have too. I would love to take a moment just to share some takeaways. We got to remember, like, whatever we know right now about money. So if you are not financially free and have financial autonomy with your money and time, the individuals who have financial freedom and autonomy versus who does not, is that they have way more time. It's not even just that they have way more money, y'all. They have way more time. Time is way more valuable because we cannot replenish time. We can replenish money. You can't replenish your time. So this is why Myron was really honing in on, like, why a job is not enough. You can continue to seek higher promotions and different types of employment that'll pay you a little bit more. But no matter what, you still have to give your time in exchange for the money. And the wealthy does not. They don't have to do that. And the reason that they don't have to do that is because of that income producing asset window. And that's really important. I also want to make sure that you understand that whatever financial situation that you're in right now, if it's not in financial freedom and autonomy or vitality, that is not your fault. It's not our fault. I'm in the same ocean. I'm a starting entrepreneur as well. And what we know right now up until this point is not our fault. This is what we've been taught in school. School was meant to teach us to be employees, right? And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with being an employee if you love your job and you love your career, your field, and what you're doing, and you want to continue to do that, please do. But understand that we all have limitless potential. So that means that even if you're really well established in your job and in your field and you love it, that doesn't mean that that's the end goal or that's the end point for you. You can do more and you can have more and your desires grow over time. So even where you are right now, in the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, especially with the world changing as rapidly as it is, you don't know what you're going to need at that point. And you don't know what it's going to cost. And Myron's whole point, especially when he talked about the menu, reading it from left to right, like, I understand that. I know what it feels like to go out and look at a menu and want something and look at the price and be like, ooh, right? Like, I don't think I could do that. Or do I want to do that? I don't ever want to have to do that again. Like, this is why I ingest so much of this content, for the inspiration and for the enlightenment, for the information that it gives, because I already know that it's possible. Like, Myron Golden was a trash man. That's why his book was called Trash Man to the Cash Man. He literally worked for sanitation, and now he's a multimillionaire, and he makes a crazy amount of money per month from YouTube alone, much less of everything else that he does. He has phenomenal products and services, but if I'm not mistaken, he makes well over 50 grand per month just from YouTube, because he is constantly focused on this income producing asset window. I also want to point out, while it's not your fault, that we all still have the ability to learn, hence why you're here. And I'm very proud of you for being here and being a part of this study group with me so that we could become better, so that we could be greater. I also want to talk about the question that he dropped. Answer this question for me down in the comments. What do you do with most of your money now? Be aware of where you are with your money right now. Is most of it going towards bills, debt, and other liabilities, necessities, and luxuries? Become aware of what you're doing with your money. Would love to hear if you're doing anything else aside from that. Please drop it down in the comments. We want to have more assets than we do liabilities. I love that he said rich people borrow money when they don't need it versus poor people borrowing money when they do. And what Myron's really honing in on is that money is supposed to work for us. And that's what the wealthy understands. They understand how to make money work for them, right? So they invest more than they just save money. And they have these income producing assets so that when the market crashes, not so that they have something just to fall back on, but that they can acquire, right? Because he talked about acquiring, accumulating, and building and buying. That's when we're using loans and credit to purchase these things, to utilize the benefits from the credit, from the loan and the credit cards, and then still having the money to pay it off so that you're not paying a crazy amount of interest, or that you don't end up having your accounts closed because you can't afford it anyway, because you never could afford it, right? That was the whole point of why you borrowed it. Really understanding these concepts, because we were taught differently, and so now we know differently, so we know better so we can do better, right? I know that you've heard that before. We're on our way to having more assets than we do liabilities. We're now understanding more of, aside from just a job and aside from just bills, there are other things to do, right? It's not just saving, it's investing. It's not just being a consumer, but we need to be the business. We got to sell some stuff too. And you absolutely can. If you're interested in my accountability service, like you have a dream, you have an idea, and you want to get a launch started and to keep it moving, make sure that you're also checking out the link in my description for my services so that we can work together. Make sure that you are purchasing this book, Boss Moves, Business Optimization Success Secrets from Myron Golden himself. This book is phenomenal. It's what helped me get started and what's helping me do what I'm doing right now. The link for the book is also in the description box below. Any gems that you've taken away from this, please drop it down in the comments. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.